All right, guys, we're having a hard time getting everyone together, which I appreciate. We got all things going on, life and kids and football and things. So I'm going to come to you. I'm going to put this whole thing together so that that you guys can look at this in your own time and your own convenience. Hopefully, if anything, it answers some questions and maybe even raises some other questions that we can talk about later. So here's what I'm going to be going over. So I'm going to edit this thing down. I'm not a video guy by any means, but I'm going to cut out all the parts where I screw up and try to make it very succinct for you. But I'm going to try to keep a running list over here and cross off the things that we've been talking about. So if you want to fast forward to anything, hopefully you can figure out how it works here. So we've all been coaching football forever, but just so that we know we're all starting from the same point, I'll keep it really quick. Formations, the formations that we use a lot at the high school level, the formations that I think would be best for you guys, but I also give that little packet with all of our formations in there. I'm going to tell you show you how to move the Y around by alignment. This is not motions. These are not motions. All right, these are not motions. They're alignments, and then how to align the T up. We can also line the F up and things like that, but I think these two just will work the best. Back alignment. We're going to go under center, and then we're going to go gun, and then we'll talk about motions here if we get a chance. And then I'll talk about run game. I have all of you asking me, hey, what run plays do you run? I've been thinking about how to answer that. I think the best way is we have run plays, but more importantly, we have run blocking schemes. As we know, it all starts with the offensive line. The offensive line and then a back, if he's involved, have to know what their job is on a certain run play. So we have, at the varsity level, we have like 5 or 6 or 7 different block schemes: natural G, blast, counter, trap F lead, sweep, and veer, and a couple other things. But for you guys, for the kids that you're dealing with, we'll talk about the handful of blocking schemes I think work best. And then when you combined everything, when you start having a lot of window dressing, if you look at our game, if you watch a game film, if you watch an offensive game calling series, we have a lot of window dressing, a lot of stuff, formational, a lot of shifting and moving, but then we run the same play. So you'll see all the shifting and moving, and wow, we ran a natural G. All the shifting and moving, oh wow, we ran a sweep. All the shifting and moving, hey, we ran a blast. All the shifting and moving, hey, we ran a natural G again. So try to keep it simple. Then I'll talk about what the plays will sound like coming out of the quarterback's mouth. And then we'll look at the pass game, not too much on the pass game, our fire series, and our color screens, which I think you'll get the most out of these color screens, I think. All right, so first off, basics. All right, basics: center, guard, tackle, 2-hole, 4-hole, 6-hole, anything outside, 8, 1, 3, 5, and then anything outside, or if we have something else, an X or something, 7. All right, we know that, basics. All right, then we've got our backfield. So just so we know that when we are labeling holes and things like that, or who's going to go through what hole, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, and 7 if we go outside and sweep. The quarterback is the 1, the T is the 2, the F is the 3. Anybody else that is within the tackle box, stationary at the time of the snap of the ball. Let's say we have some type of goal line set where we bring somebody else in, they're the 4. But not if they're in motion. If they're coming through the tackle box as the ball snapped, we don't call them the 4. Only if they're additionally in the backfield. So that's basics there. So as we know, football 101. If we say 24, then whatever the blocking scheme is, 2 back through the 4-hole. All right, somehow he's getting there. Or 30 through 35. The 3 back is going through the 5-hole. Okay. So, we all know that. All right. Basically, how we call a play, we're going to have a formation. Then we're going to, add to that formation. That's the formation part, 7 open. And then we have backfield alignment, 7 open away. And then we have the back in the hole. And then we have the blocking scheme. Okay? And this is how we call the huddle. 7 open away, 26 natural G. 7 open array, 15 natural G. 7 open, blast. Whatever it is, blah, 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 blah. So, again, formation, backfield alignment, who's going where, how are we blocking it, right? So that's what it looks like. And it'll get a little bit more wordy, but we try to keep all the words associated with something. All right, basics, done. All right, formations, formationally. Our formations are numbered 1 through 10, and then we have some formations that are by words. So let's look at the numbered formations first. Generally speaking, the smaller the number, the tighter the formation, generally speaking. So, and then also, if it's an odd number, you probably have more, you're gonna have more receivers on the left. And if it's an even number, it's the flip of that, you have more on the right. So 1 or 2 are opposites of each other. 1 is more receivers to the left of that formation, and 2 is the other way, is to the right. 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, and 9 and 10. And the other things we'll look at ace. We'll look at ace right and left. And we will look at bunch. And that is either right or left, and then we can also add tight bunch too. Okay? So, but I think for you guys, the formations that you're going to get a lot of traction out of, and it depends on what level you're at. You might want to go with a tighter formation, like a double tight formation with an ace or a 1 or 2. I think most of you guys are going to be doing 3 or 4, and 7 and 8 will get you by. Especially when we start moving guys around, you can really change things up. I think all the formations are in that little pamphlet I gave you. So let's look at the common formations. Let's start with formation 3. Formation 3 is your basic pro formation. 3 is an odd number, so we're going to have more receivers on the left. There is no general rule like tight end goes with the odds or the evens. Don't think of it like that. It's not going to work for you. Okay? There. That is our classic 3. That's a classic pro formation right there. That's 3. And then 4 is the opposite. 4 is just the exact opposite. 4 is you're going to move this guy over here. Z is going to, flanker's going to come over, and your split end is going to be there. I don't have a lot of room, but traditional splits widen out whatever they need to be at your level, so that it at least looks like the quarterback can get the ball out there, right? Okay. And then 7 and 8. 7 and 8, I think you guys will use a lot. 7 and 8 is your slot. It's your twins. It's your twins. So 7 more receivers on the left. So it's going to be X and Z and then Y. Okay. And 8's your opposite. X and Y. So those are the ones I think you're going to be using the most. If you have any formations you want to do or run, go ahead. But just if we bump into each other, let's talk about what we call them, because odds are we have that formation at the high school level, and it would be great if you could use the words. That'd be awesome. Bunch formation. Bunch. If we don't put tight in front of it, it's a regular wide bunch. Bunches for us always go reading a book left to right, X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. This is split out far enough where the quarterbacks can make some throws out here. And then our F comes up and plays this backside tight end. That's bunch. And that's bunch right. If we go bunch left, please pay attention here. We still go X, Y, Z. X, Y, Z. Y sets the bunch. It's out there though. That's the bunch left. All right? And then we can add tight bunch left. And he comes in about 3 to 5 yards and sets the bunch up there. X, Y, Z. If we're going to F, would come here. If we're going tight bunch right, it would be X, Y, Z, and the F would come over here. Okay? So it's X, Y, Z. That allows us just personnel to flip around if we're running screens or something, or to get a guy that we want running a certain route in the right position. So that's the way it works. We also have ace. Ace might be helpful. Ace is, it it looks like a formation 4, except for we're going to bring this F up here, and this X is going to be off. So that's ace. All right? So that's ace. Ace right. This guy travels. That's right. All right? Ace left. The X is already out here. The Z travels. All right? The Y and the F do not switch in F, or in ace. They do not switch places. Remember Y. So let's talk about Y tags. How can we move our Y around? And these are not motions. Okay? These are not motions. So moving our Y tags. How do we move our Y around? Well, we can do several. We can do, there's 3 of them. There's flex, there's open, there's over. All right? We have another one, flip, but that is a motion. That's a motion. So we're not going to do motions. These are not motions, remember. These are alignments. So let's look at what that looks like. Let's say we go into formation 7. Okay, so X, Z, that's our slot. Okay? Well, if we go 7, flex, 4 or 5 yards, 2-point stance, standing up like wide receiver, playing wide receiver. We like to play around with this in a game because usually a linebacker at our level will widen out with this guy. So we play around and see how, we try to widen it out every time to see if we can get this linebacker to come up with this. But right now, probably 4 yards is a flex. 3 to 4 yards at your guys' level with the little guys. All right, so that's flex. So we have 7. We have 7 flex. Now let's go 7 open. Open them all the way up. All right? And then one that we've been using quite a bit lately is the over. And that would be just 7 over. Remember, this is not a motion. He's not going to start here and come over. He's going to break the huddle and go right there. Notice that our X does not get off the ball. Okay? When we go over, there is no adjustment by the wide receivers. We are making this guy ineligible. We're making him a blocker. But most defenses don't pick up on that he's ineligible, so it screws up their coverage, puts guys in the wrong spot, so over works for us. Keep in mind, this can be anything. 4 flex, 4 open, 4 over, 4 over. We do that a lot. Now we get an extra guy over here when we run the sweep. Okay? So that's the way to move the Y around. So you get some variability. 7 over, 8 open, 8 flex, 4 flex, and then so that's our Y tags. Right? Flex, open, over. Right? Well, let's say we want to move the T around. Right? The T tags are Ray for right and Leo for left. And if we get a little more advanced, Uno and Deuce. Remember, these are not motions, these are alignment tags. Right? So let's go, we say 7, Ray. R for right, puts a T as a receiver, out here. Right? Now, well, based on formation, he might be in the slot. Well, I'll show you that in a second. All right, so that's 7 Ray. We have 7 Leo, that puts us into a trips formation. L for left. Z would bump a little bit, give him some room, and we have trips. So that's 7 Leo. All right. The Uno and the Deuce is for wings. So this is for wide out, and these are for wing. And it might seem like a little thing, but sometimes you want that back in a wing spot rather than in wide. So 7 Uno, single receiver side, 1 by 1. All right. And 7 Deuce, 2 receiver side in the wing. Okay? So that's a wing. Let's see if you want to move the wing. So let's combine the two. Let's combine Y tag and T tag for a spread formation. 7, open, Ray. That is our common spread formation. So we got 7, we've got open, and we've got Ray. Like I said, when the open, if he's going to the open side, sometimes he's in that slot. In this situation, he's in the slot. Let's say for some reason we want to get the T outside, but still looking spread. Well, let's go 7 flex. Now, he's only going to be flexed, so he's going to take the role of the outside guy. All right? 7 flex Leo, 7 flex Ray, 4 flex Leo. So there's a lot of different ways we can get them into spread, okay? If we have an open situation, let's say we have 7 open uno, 7 open, so he's in here. So we're super side on the wing, off the tackle, 1 by 1. If the Y is there, he's 1 by 1 off the Y. Again, maybe you want to drag him, maybe you find something that he, you know, how they align over here, bring a safety, maybe you get up here, I don't know what it is, but we move him around quite a bit. Give him different looks. All right, so those are our T tags. Those are not motions. So guys, with that 7 open ray, 7 open Leo, 8 open ray, 8 open Leo, 4 flex, 4 over, 7 over ray, you can do a ton of things. I recommend you play around with this, right? Just throw some numbers out there and move some guys around and see what you come up with. But just with 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, and the open and the flex and the over and the ray and the Leo and the uno and the deuce, you're gonna have about 50 different formations from there. So I think that's a good starting point. The 3 and 4, 7 and 8, maybe an ace if you want to get the double tight look. But I think with those formations and these tags, you can really get a wide variety of plays. All right, let's talk about back alignment. You're gonna have shotgun or under center. I know a lot of you are going to be working under center at the varsity level. Over the last couple of years with the quarterbacks we've had, we've been better off running from the gun, and it kind of has worked into our personnel the last couple of years. We'll be running from gun a lot this year. Generally speaking, the default, let's just say I call it 7. That's all I call in the huddle. All right? 7, the default formation for under center is I. Okay? Is I. Heels at 3.5, heels at 7. Now at the YFL level with those little guys, you might change that up a little bit, okay? But the default formation is always I under center. If you'd like to, call it 7I. That doesn't bother me, but by the time they get to the varsity level, the I part will be dropped off. At the varsity level, our default in gun is split backs. And just as a side note, good thing to remember, F. F always follows the tight end unless we have a weak call. So if it's just formation 7 up here at the varsity level, we know that the F is going to align on the side of the Y. F always follows Y, unless we have a weak call, which I'll talk about. All right, so it's generally speaking. Under center, we have a handful. Okay? We have our default, which is I, okay? F and T. We have strong. So if I called 7 strong, then the fullback would move over to the strong side. Right? If I called 7 weak, weak side, splitting the guard and the tackle. His right foot in this situation is on the guard's butt crack. In this situation, in this side, his left foot is on the guard's butt crack. Okay, so they're right there. And they're at kind of 3 yards or so, 2.5, 3. All right, we got weak. We've got right. Let's say we see 7 right. Both these backs are at 5. All right? And then 7 left. All right? And then we have split backs, 7 split. F is going to follow your Y, and they're going to be heels at 5. I don't know for you guys at your level, but heels at 5, of course. In gun, we got a little bit more that we can do here. So, in gun, we don't have an I, right? We don't have a strong. We do, but we don't call it that. We don't have that weak formation because we don't have I. We don't have a right or a left. We do have split. That's our default. So our split backs by default. So if I were to say 4, just say 4. So we got a 4, we got a formation 4, right? And he's following the F, okay? All right. The most common formations we use are stack and away, or weak stack and weak away, but mainly the stack and away, okay? Try to explain it the best I can. The fullback is the one that has to line up correctly. So let's say we go 4 stack. Okay? I did not use the term weak, so the fullback is going to follow the tight end. He's going to line up about heels at 2.5. The stack part is for the T. He is going to stack behind him. Just behind the quarterback, about a half a yard. Quarterback's heels are at 5. This guy's just behind him here. That's our stack. If we want to move it to the other side, we tell the fullback it's 4 weak. Okay? And then we tell the running back that it's stack. 4 week stack. 4 week stack. Okay? And that moves him over here. So that's stack. The fullback just needs to listen for the word weak. If he doesn't hear the word weak in the stack, then he's going fullback to the tight end side. If he hears weak, he's going over to the weak side. And then the running back is stacking behind him. Well, and then we have away. 4 away. 4 away. So if I'm the fullback, I hear 4 away. I know that I'm going to be up. And I didn't hear weak, so I know I'm going to be to the tight end side like usual by default. Now the away is for the running back. He's here. 4 away. And 4 weak away. Fullback, that's for the fullback. And that's for the tailback. And so weak away. So that's another common one, 4 week away. Okay? 7 away, 7 week away. And so week away, week stack, week away. We do run a pistol, and pistol. If we just call regular pistol, then fullback would go to the tight end side. If we call weak pistol, let's talk motions real quick. We want to let's start with the Y. If you want to move the Y from here to here, that is called flip. All right, that's called flip. So in this situation, let's put the Z out here. This would be a formation 4 flip. All right. Now let me be specific about this. We line up. The Y does not put his hand on the ground because he cannot put his hand on the ground and keep picking it up. We'll get a penalty sooner or later. So he's going to sit there with his elbows on his knees. Quarterback is going to yell shift. This guy, the Y, is responsible for getting off, stepping back, and then he's got to look out to the Z and tell the Z to get his butt on the line. All right? Then once the Z's on the line and set, he's going to bust his butt over here and set up. He's going to set up, and he's going to look out at the X, and he's going to tell him to get off the line. So the Y is responsible for getting that guy on the line and that guy off, period. Not to mention your quarterback, but that's how we've done it, and it's worked. He does not move on the flip until this guy steps up. He does not put his hand down in the dirt until this guy backs up. That's how he does it. So that's how you get the flip. So 4 flip, 3 flip, 7 flip, 8 flip. That's if you want to get him out there, get the big bad linebacker over the top of the tight end, and then move the tight end. And keep that big bad linebacker away from your run play. Flip. Tailback. T's. T motion. There is tar and tall. T for tailback, R for right, T for tailback, L for left. And how we run our motions is say it's tar, say it's up and out and set up. Or tall, over and set up. For fullback, if you want to, it's far and fall. Well, we don't do that very much. If you want to do other motions, you want to motion your Z, you want to have your tailback out there and motion across, come find me. We'll talk about those. It's pretty simple. Z motions are pretty simple. I think they're actually in that little thing I gave you. Okay? All right, let's move on to the big one, the run game. I've had several ask, hey, so what are the run plays you run? Well, the more I thought about it, the best way I can explain it is let's talk about run blocking schemes. That's what we have. we have a handful of run blocking schemes that make sure that the lineman and whatever back is involved in block know what the heck they're doing. And so, yes, we have run plays. We have the natural G. We have the blast. But I don't want to refer to them as run plays. Let's refer to them as run blocking schemes. So, our run game, our main run game blocking scheme is the natural G. That's it. If you watch us play a game, and once you start to figure out what we're doing, if you watch a game on Friday night, you'll see all this stuff moving around. You go, oh, that was natural. We move all this stuff moving around, play action, faking the pass, and then run the ball. That was natural. So we run natural quite a bit. Natural G is a kick and a wrap type of play. Same with counter trap, which I'll get to, but counter trap, somebody's kicking a guy out and someone's wrapping up on a backer. Natural G is the same thing. Someone's kicking and someone's wrapping. So natural G is an off tackle play. It can be run to the tight end side, Y side, and away from the Y. So away from Y. All right? But there are some general rules that the linemen have to live by, and that other people on the team, the fullback, has to live by when we're blocking natural. So let's take a look at natural G and what it looks like. Natural G. All right, let's take a look at natural G and what it looks like. I'm already wrong here. We usually run it out of away. Okay, so 4 away. Right? Okay, so 4 away. So 4 away, 26 natural G. Right? So let's start with the basic concept. We're going to kick somebody out, and we're going to wrap somebody up on the play side linebacker. This is the play side backer. Okay? Now we're going to wrap them. The rule of thumb is we are going to kick the guy at the end of the line of scrimmage out. We don't care if he's head up, we're still going to kick him. If he's outside shade, we're going to kick him. If he comes down inside, then the Y will drive him down. But guys, I think most of the time we're going to see him head up or shaded. Okay? So in this case, 4 away, 26 natural G. All right, let's start with the play side. Our Y, like I said, if this guy's head up or shaded outside, this Y is going to try to release and get to this backer here. All right? Depending on how you see this young man, the defender, play, sometimes they're taught that if we try to go this way, they'll step with us because they think it's sweet. So we'll play around. Sometimes we'll release inside, and then we'll release outside and see what his technique is. Because sometimes, like I said, if we release outside, it makes him feel like it's a sweep, and he'll step to us, which opens this gap up a little bit. But either way, this Y's got to get to this outside backer. So we're here. All right. The guard and the tackle, they are responsible for the guy in the gap and the backside linebacker. All right? Pretty simple. Again, remember, this guy's getting taken care of by the wrapper. He's going to be taken care of by the wrapper. All right? So they are responsible for double teaming. We call that Oreo. Driving them at an angle this way, and then one of these guys is going to slip off when it comes time to make that block. Okay, so we're double teaming here. That's an Oreo block. Oreo. Okay? The center, keep working our down the line. Center is responsible for making sure this guy is picked up because, and that's a solo call, because this guard is burrito. He's wrapping. And when we teach these guys to wrap, guys, it's right. If we get a really good push with this line like this, then the wrap turns up there. And he's right there. All right? This guy is going to punch here. We're pretty sure that this defensive end, if he gets punched, is not going to make it to the 6-hole natural. If it does, we got problems. He's going to punch and climb. And then the F has a big job. He's going to do what we call a candy cane route. He's going to come up and out and kick this guy. So we have a nice wall here, and we have a nice wall here happening, right? So we have this nice big lane right here for this guy to run to. He's going to run to the butt of his Y. And then at this point, at about 1 yard from the line of scrimmage, he is going to make a decision. If this guy happens to crash, we're going to bounce. 9 times out of 10, guys, we're going to get a good block here, and he's going to put his foot down, and he's going to hit it. All right? He's going to hit it. You're going to have more home runs with this play if you can teach your running backs to get to here, and if there's a little crease, just a little crease, put your foot down and hit it straight up the field. Because if we get habits of them continually bouncing, right now it's great in Yfl because they got the speed, they're faster than everybody else. When it comes to the JV and varsity, all you're going to do is you're going to allow people time to get over there and run you out of bounds for a game of 4 or 5 and stretch you out. But if you start learning to put your foot down and get through that little gap, that's when you're going to start hitting some home runs. Or at the very least, be facing a free safety one-on-one and you can make them move on. Okay? So that's natural G. All right? So generally speaking, guard and tackle are doubling down, fullback is kicking out, and backside guard is wrapping, and so on like we did. So if you add another, the rule that we tell the guys is you're responsible for the first man inside you on or off the ball if you're play side. So first man inside him on or off the ball is right here, but we know that's a double. So if, for example, if this guy screws up and he's way down here, then we're gonna, right there, help. So there'll be situations where you gotta play around a little bit, but generally speaking, guys, it's take this guy and go to the backside backer, not this backer. That's for the wrapper. This backer is for the Y. That is our natural G. We can run it out of away. We can run it out of stack. We don't even have to have another guy out here. He can be out here and we can run it with the fullback. We can run it with the quarterback. That's really nice when you start spreading guys out and spread like 7 open, Ray, 7 open, Ray, and then run it with your Q, 16 natural G. All right? So there's a lot of different ways to run this play around with it. That is our bread and butter play. Kick and wrap. All right? So that's the natural G. That is the bread and butter play. All right, we'll look at it. I think I have another defense here. We can look at what natural G will look like in another beat. So sometimes you might want to, so this is 4 flex away, 26 natural G. 4 flex away, 26 natural G. We play this game sometimes because this backer will walk out. And sometimes this guy doesn't adjust to this when he's out here flex, and it gives us a bigger space to work with. Already creates a nice natural lane here. Okay. There you go. All right, 4 flex away, 26 natural. We can run it weak side. If we were to run it weak side, let's say we are in some certain formation, then we run it weak side. Double down, first backer on the other side of the center. All right, you can get here. He's wrapping, he's kicking, and off the quarterback, you know what I mean? Here, and then this guy is a little bit odd, so we're going to have to maybe we're in a formation like 7, and that'll walk this guy out here because of what else we've been doing. We've been throwing little screens out here. So sometimes the weak side natural G needs to be set up a little bit more. Okay? But it can be run weak side. We run it to the tight end a lot, but we also do run it to the weak side and have success there based on game plan or opponent or setting. All right, another variation off of this is the ride natural G. So your line here is natural G, they're still blocking it. So 4 flex away, 16 ride natural G. We've been running the 26 natural G, we've been running it, and now what we're going to do is we're going to block the natural G, because that's what the lineman here, 16 ride natural G. All they hear is the 6-fold. All you're preaching to the lineman is all this stuff that we say before doesn't mean anything. All they're listening is for the hole and the natural G call. That's it. Or the hole and the blast call, the hole or the counter call. And so the ride is really simple. Ride is the quarterback's going to ride the tailback and then follow him. The quarterback's going to be the ball carrier. That's why it's a 16. So same blocking. But this time, which is nice, is that we get another blocker. So the quarterback is going to turn and seat the ball in the gut, ride 2 steps, pull it, and follow him. So we're going to ride here. We're going to ride a little bit, and then he gets to cut up the hole, and he gets to follow. So it adds another blocker. That's ride natural G. 7 away, 16 ride natural G. 8 away, 15 ride natural G. Right? So that just adds another little wrinkle, but the blocking scheme stays the same. So the line doesn't get confused, and they know what to do, and everybody's happy. Huh? All right. As we get a little more experience, and some of you guys might want to do this year because you've got the quarterback to do it, and you want him to run the ball a little bit, we do read as well. 26 natural G, read. When we read, it's the quarterback. He's going to be reading the end away from the call. So the linemen don't care. All they heard is 26 natural G. So down, down. This guy's not over the center, but the first guy, okay, here, all right, and then here, and then kick out, and then up. So we're blocking natural G. The quarterback, this guy over here, not there. Quarterback is going to seat the ball. He's going to step back at a 45-degree angle and seat the ball in the running back's gut, and watching the defensive end the whole time while he's riding. He's making the decision. This guy's not even going to touch him this time. He's just going to climb to here. If this guy wants to be the hero and fly down, the quarterback pulls it and goes. If this guy does his job and stays there, the quarterback hands it off and runs towards him to freeze him. Basically, rule of thumb, if a quarterback, we tell the quarterbacks, if you see his numbers, you're handing the ball off. If he shows you your number 1,000 straight times, you're handing the ball off 1,000 straight times. But the one time he shows you the shoulder, you better be prepared to pull it and make him wrong. Okay? So that's our read game. 4 away, 26 natural, G, read. Okay? The only thing that changes is this guy here. Okay? And I think we call that block, I think his call there is book, read, book. Okay? Book. All right, you're going to leave him alone. He's got to make that call because it reminds them what to do. Okay? All right, natural G. So we've got natural G, we've got natural G ride, and we've got natural G read, or ride natural G. Okay? One last thing on this, and then if you guys are feeling up to it, a common thing for us is like 7 away, 26 natural G read, and then we'll tag the receivers. So we add another element. So not only are we reading this guy, if he does crash, quarterback's going to pull, but then these guys are running maybe a little hitch bubble combination, or maybe a little, maybe a little curl out combination. And so that would be the curl out, for example, is Florida. So it would sound like this. So it'd be 7 away, 26 natural G, read Florida. Okay? Try to teach your quarterbacks to start saying it kind of in sections. For example, I'd say, hey, if I got into the huddle, I would break it up for them. Okay, it's 7 away, 26 natural G, read Florida. Just that little, you don't notice it, but just those little seconds in between, that half a second in between some of those terms. Because again, formational, hole, blocking scheme, additional. Okay? Hey guys, it's 7 away, 26 natural G, read Florida. And then everyone's on the same page. Right? Or read butch. We call the bubble hitch. Hitch and bubble, we call that butch. 7 away, 26 natural G, read butch. Okay? Doesn't matter that the line are blocking, doesn't matter that the guys got guys going downfield and stuff like that, you don't get called on it. It's never going to happen. All these combinations are real quick. So if you want to discuss that part of it more, feel free. Please hit me up. Blast is another one of our blocking schemes. Again, just telling the linemen what they're doing, telling the backs what they're doing in terms of blocking. So another one of our schemes is the blast. Sometimes this is called an ISO. Been around forever, right? We're isolating a linebacker, and we're going to hit him with a back. So in blast stands for backer and tailback, or fullback and back. The back is responsible for the backer over the hole. So in this case, if we're calling 24 blast, 4 hole, backer over the hole is going to be taken by this guy. Okay? So the linemen are just responsible for the lineman, however they block it. Usually it's just angles, right? Okay, it's, yeah. So the blocking up here is determined by pretty much angles. If you can get to a point, guys, where you give the lineman two options. Make a willy for wider, one hole, or Indy for in one hole. So what I do a lot, guys, is I only call 3 and 4 hole blast, really, and then I let the linemen change the hole should they want to. For example, let's say we called a 22 blast here. Well, this guy's right in the 2 hole. And so we don't want to try to cross block. So if we have this 22 blast, we don't want to try to move this guy, or we don't want to try to figure out how to do it. So what the lineman would call is the lineman would make a willy call. Willy. The fullback and the tailback echo that call. And we've changed it from a 22 to a 24. We moved it out one hole wider. Let's say we had a 26 blast call. This guy's in the hole or something. We could call an Indy, move it down 1 hole. So guys, usually I usually call a 4 hole blast or a 3 hole blast because those are in between. All right, they can go either way with it, and then I let the line make the decision. But again, that can be your guys' choice. When a blast tells the lineman they're not responsible for the backer of the hole, what they're going to call, they're going to make a dozer call. They're going to point at this guy and say dozer, so that they know that this guy is getting bulldozed by the fullback. They're not responsible for him. So these guys can do this type of stuff, and we can run the blast, right? Blast, old school football play. Let's just hit it hard, right? Get it and back responsible in the hole, right? We run weak side blast. You can run front side blast. Oh, I didn't know I had that. So something like that, right? Something like that. Fullback responsible for the. Basically, the running back just follows his fullback and makes one cut. Right? Counter trap. Counter trap is another kick and wrap type of play. It's another off tackle type of play. Okay? But it's not the fullback. The fullback is not kicking. So, for example, let's say we have 26 counter here. So someone's got a wrap and someone's got a kick. So same block here, double and down. Same concept here, release either outside or inside to seal that guy. This guy is backside here, very important block. This guy is going and kicking, and that's a donkey call, because donkeys kick. And this guy would make a burrito call, because he's wrapping. Counter trap, old school football. Fullback, in this situation, fullback goes first, and he is tasked with scraping this guy off, just in case this guy is taught to follow. And then first, second, right? You can run with this. You can run this with the quarterback. I'll show you later. We also will do read. So if, let's say we didn't have a fullback in here to scrape this guy off, all we do is counter trap read, and we're going to freeze this defensive end with the eyes of the quarterback. He's going to turn, and just like the natural, he'll turn and start to ride this guy, and let this blocks develop. And if this guy wants to be the hero and crash down, we will pull and run right behind him. All right? And if he wants to stay square, then we run then the counters run without having to worry about scraping that guy off. So it's just a way to we'll run read early on a counter trap, and so that defensive end knows that this quarterback has an option to run it. That's the way we run our single back counter if we don't have a full back scraping. So counter trap, we could also run it weak side. The only issue with weak side is you've got to get this center all the way over to here, which can be tough. But at the varsity level, if this situation, if our center was a good enough athlete, we would make a cobra call. And he would stay home, he would become the kicker, and he would become the wrapper, doubling down, and wrapping up, and kicking out. So, But you don't have to go Cobra. I don't think at this level you go Cobra. I think you just get this guy all the way to here, and these guys still do the donkey and the burrito. So counter trap. Down blocks, down blocks, down blocks, kicking out, wrapping up, okay? All right, let's talk sweeps. We can sweep out of the backfield for strong 28 sweep, 27 sweep, all right? The linemen just have to be versed on which way the right is and which way the left is. Because we don't call the 28 and 27 sweep, 28 sweep right, 27 sweep left. I guess if you wanted to, you could tag that, but the linemen should have an idea of where the hole is and how they're going to be stepping. But we do tag our motion sweeps. We do tag those left or right because they don't have a hole and it helps the lineman. So generally speaking, if we're going to go something like 4 weak stack, jet sweep left. So let's talk about what jet means. Jet and fly and exit. Okay? Jet is for the Z, T is fly, and X is exit. So so let's go 4 weak stack, jet sweep left. Jet is for the Z, and so he's going to get the handoff. He's going to come to this. He's going to come to the tight end, like he's coming all the way across, and he's going to start making his way back. And so that is jet sweep. If it was the tailback, it would be fly sweep, right or left. If it's the exit. If you go formation 9 or 10, it gets the X off the ball, and he can run it. We did that for Jasper Cadlick, and that's exit sweep. Right, so that's how we call our motion sweeps, either jet sweep left, jet sweep right, exit sweep left, exit sweep right, fly sweep right, fly sweep left, whatever. Okay? A lot of different formations you can play around with. A common one we do is 4 over stack. So bring this guy over, still stack. We took the weak part off because the Y came now, so we're going to stay with the Y. And that gives us more bodies over there. So, and then, not to get ahead of ourselves, but you can start seeing how we could also have this guy, block here. This guy take off like he's going to get it, and then run QB counter trap. QB shuffles with the Z a couple steps, and then back we go. If we want to run a weak side or whatever it may be. So again, that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves in terms of combining everything. But jet, exit, or fly. Those are our sweep calls. For who's going to get the ball. Huh? All right, so let's look at how they would be called. So hey, 7 stack, jet sweep right. All right, we got the X out here. 7 stack, so we got 7 stack, following the fullback, it's not weak. Jet sweep right. Jets for the Z. All right, let's talk about blocking. We are blocking in a jet sweep right. We are blocking a gap to our right. All right? So this guy would get his butt over here and block this guy. This guy is going to start to climb up here and set up shop looking back this way. This guy is going to try to climb to this linebacker. This guy is going to, or take that back, that's my fault. If this guy can, he's going to try to climb here. This guy's going to climb to another backer. This guy has the most important block. All right? When we do our sweep blocks, guys, we really work on lateral step, crossover step, really trying to make some distance to get out there. Fullback's responsibility, I can't stress this enough. Fullback is to go right to the butt of the Y and check if he needs help. If this guy needs help, that's his job, number 1. We prefer to have the fullback go by and actually put his hand on this guy, punch him. Punch him. If it looks like this guy's got him, then he's going to run by him and he's going to set up shop and look here. Tailback is also going to lead and hand the ball off to Z and off he goes. All right? So that's jet sweep right. Let's say we had some formation that we have the T out here. That would be fly sweep right, and the T would come across. This guy would exist. Read it like that. Okay? All right? So that's jet sweep, fly sweep, exit sweep. That's the blocking for the sweep. It can be hard, guys. It can be difficult. Just stress, guys, that we want to try to beat the man to the play side. We want to try to beat him and seal him. and then point our butts towards the ball carrier. Jet and fly sweep. All right, one thing I forgot to mention on jet and fly and exit, we can just run the jet motion. If we just call jet, for example, for jet, then he's going to run the jet motion but not get the ball. So only when we say jet sweep left, or jet sweep right, or exit sweep left, or exit sweep right. Because there's a lot of times we run jet motion and have him come back to the quarterback but not handle the ball, right? We'll talk about that. So, all right. So let's put everything kind of together here, right? So we can run off tackle a couple different ways, natural and counter. We can run up inside with the blast. We do have a dive play for those of you that are under center, just turning and giving the ball to the fullback. It's called smash. Okay, so just basically we're going to get the linemen are just going to kind of push, and we're going to get 3 or 4 yards on with that fullback hard hitting. We also have trap plays that we just call trap. So there is a trap call and other things that we want to discuss. If you want to talk about, let's talk about it. But we have some other things. All right. So let's talk about putting it all together now and what it might look like. All right. So let's take a look at kind of putting everything together. So let's look at a kind of a common kind of flow of play calling for us at the varsity level. All right, so I'm looking at my run sheet. All right, so I got 8 stack jet blast, 23 blast. Now, out of this formation, I've got 8 stack jet sweep right, jet sweep left. I've got 8 stack 26 counter trap. I've got 8 stack 25 natural G. And now, I mean, I'm sure there's some more, but I mean that's so let's start with 8 stack 23 blast. 8 stack jet, show jet motion, and then blast right up in here. Right? Maybe we see something getting those guys flowing. All right? We got 8 stack jet, sweep left. We hand it off. All right? We can go 8 stack jet, 26 counter trap. He's already in a great position. He takes a step and then back to the counter. All right? 8 stack 25 natural G. Look at that. We're in a great position. We get this guy flying by, maybe get this backer to widen out a little bit, maybe get this end to widen out, and then we're kicking, and then we are right up in there. Natural G. All right? So you run all these things and you keep running them and you just start confusing them. So that's just one formation and 4 sets of plays, if not more. I mean, maybe you want to do something, maybe you see something where you put this guy out here in a Leo and it takes another background. We can still run jet 15 natural G. We can still run jet 16 counter trap. We've just taken another defender out of the box. So in 16 counter trap, quarterback shuffles with the Z for 2 steps, waiting for the tackle to get across his face, and then right there. So a lot of things you can do in terms of like putting everything together. So again, when you watch us play a football game on Friday night, you'll see all this moving around and motion and stuff like that, and then hey, you'll go, oh, that was a natural G. Hey, that was a blast. Hey, that was a natural G. Hey, that was a counter. It's really not that. It's really not that complicated in terms of what we're calling. It's just how we're window dressing. All right. So that's kind of one, and I have more examples of kind of. I think I gave you a play sheet, a card play sheet in that little pack I gave you. All right. Play calls themselves, what they sound like. They'll sound like 7 open ray, 15 natural G. They'll sound like 7 away. Let's look at some runs. 7 flex away, 26 natural G read. 3 flip, 34 blast. 3 overstack jet, 24 blast. 3 overstack jet, 25 trap F lead. And let's stick with the ones that we were doing. 7 26 counter trap, 4 flip 26 natural G, 7 flex stack jet 26 natural G, 4 over flex stack jet 25 natural G. So that's what they sound like. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. Always trying to end with the blast or the natural G part, so your line here is that. All right, let's talk passing game. Let's talk fire series. Fire series, I like to do out of spread. So something like a 7 open Ray gets me in spread, 8 open Leo gets me into spread, 4 flex Leo gets me into spread, 3 flex Ray gets me into spread, 7 flex Ray, 8 flex Leo. All those are spread formations. Let's just pick one. Let's go 3 flex Ray. So 3 X 3 Y, but we're flexing in, Z, X, okay? So 3 flex Ray. There's our spread formation. Our fire series, pretty straightforward. We have only 4 of them. We have fire 0, fire 1, fire 2, and fire 9. Okay? So basically the fire tells the line that they are firing out. They are showing run. They are showing run so that you hold the backers in, keep the backers in. So when we were tagging a fire play, so for example, 3 flex Ray, fire, and then I'm going to pick one of the outside guys. Sometimes it's X, sometimes it's Z, sometimes it's Y, sometimes it's C, but I'm just going to choose one of them. So in this case, I'd go 3 flex Ray, fire X0, or 3 flex Ray, fire Z0. Telling one of the outside guys what they're doing. By telling one of the outside guys what they're doing, you also tell the other guy what he's doing. And you also tell the inside guys what they're doing. Alright? So, on fire 0, outside guys are doing stupids, zeros, inside guys have a seam all the time. Quarterback, it is a catch and a throw. Okay? At this level, maybe 1 step back so they can hitch up, maybe. Okay? But these are all should be short throws. Okay? Fire, so that's fire 0. Fire 1 tells the outside guys they have a speed out. Okay, so they maybe should bring down their splits a little bit and they have a speed out. Inside guy has a 5-yard 7. 5-yard 7 because it's quick. It can't be the full 7, 8, 9 yards making your move. That's fire X0, X1, fire Z1, fire T1, who's ever on the outside. You know, right? Because we can move guys around. Fire 2 is your football. That's been doing on forever. Fire 2 tells this guy to run a 2, which is a slant, and this guy has an arrow. Slant, arrow. That's fire 2. And fire 9 is a fade, right? But it's still a quick throw. It's not a deep ball. It's a little fade. And the complementary route to fire 9 is a speed out. So if you want to look at it, it's a 0 and a seam combo. It's a 1 and a 7 combo, short 7. It's a 2 and an arrow combo. And it's a 9 and a 1 combo, if you want to look at it like that. Okay? All right. So that is our fire series. Again, line is firing out. Fullback, whoever's back here, is coming up to just protect. QB is taking maybe a 1 step, and then, but it's quick. The ball is out quick. It's fire series. All right? All right. If we're in spread, if we're in any form of spread, I'll just go 7, open, red. Okay? If we're in a spread, we also like to call combos. All right? And that is done very simply. Let's say I want to run a little curl and an out combo. Well, that route is a 4 and that's a 1. I would call 7, open, gray, 41 combo. Okay? Tells my outside guys are running 4s, inside guys running 1. Always from the outside in. Some other combos, 93 combo we have, so both 9s and 3s. Very common, okay? So that's another way of just making a real quick call. 7 open, hey, 7 open Ray, 2 arrow combo. Hey, 7 open Ray, 93 combo. 7 open Ray, 69 combo. 8 open Leo, whatever it may be. But this is spread combo. That's a way for us to quickly call around. All right. But we can discuss those more too. Let's talk about the colored screens, okay? Probably again, something that I would encourage you especially at the middle and higher levels, to be working on, because it's going to kill YFL defenses if you start having them spread out. So we're in a spread formation. We have 2 colored screens. We have a red and we have a yellow. That's it. Okay? Like a stoplight. Red is for the outside guys. They're just going to go, they're going to push up the field 1 or 2 steps to make this corner kind of back up a little bit, and then they're going to come back behind the line of scrimmage to get the pass. Now, we usually call it, so for example, this would be 7, open, red, screen, combo. Because I want to do it both on the same side. The quarterback is going to make a choice. He's going to pre-snap read and go, you know what, I like this side, the corner's way off. Hey, I like this side, this corner isn't very good, whatever it may be. Hey, my better receivers over there, something, whatever. Okay. What the blocking is we're going to apex. You're going to teach the kids. You're going to run drills, a lot of drills in wide receiver time. These guys are to come out in between these 2, apex them with their head on a swivel, and kind of be chattering your feet, kind of eyeballs kind of be moving, and the first guy that comes is the first guy you get. All right? So both these guys on this will be coming here and sitting up here. These guys will be doing their step back for the red, and the blockers come out. They're looking, they're checking, they're moving their feet, they're keeping their feet chopping, and then as soon as the first threat comes, they lock on. Okay? That's why it's important for this guy to get a little push-up field and come back. So this corner just does a little bit of that. It helps us out. All right. So that's red. Okay? Yellow. Yellow's for the inside receiver. Okay? Yellow is for the inside receiver. It's a bubble screen. Yellow is our bubble, kind of like in a stoplight. When you go a little bit, when you kind of go slow for a yellow. So same concept. They're just going to bubble back. And I have specific footwork on this when we get there. When you guys start doing it, it really helps with the quarterback. Because if all these guys are doing different angles and doing different stuff, it's hard for a quarterback to get the ball on him, and then we start throwing the ball backwards and bad things happen. So I have specific footwork for these guys when the time comes. Same concept here. This guy is going to push to the corner with his eyeballs here. He's going to push the corner like he's running a route. Hopefully this corner starts to back up. If this guy starts to make a break, he comes and nails him right there. And now we're catching the ball with like 12 yards of space for this guy and that guy to, for this guy to make him miss. And yellow screen combo, he's doing it too. Quarterback's going to pick a side. This guy's going to head out, push hard with his eyeball here. This guy jumps it, there. If this guy doesn't jump it, maybe you have some action in the backfield. Maybe you got what we call flash. Maybe this guy's flashing in front of the quarterback and it holds this backer here. And he just comes up right there. And now we've got no one. So red screen combos, yellow screen combos. 7 open red screen combos. 4 flex Leo, red screen combo, yellow screen combos. Anything out of spread. You can also, that's combo. You can also, you can run it out of like a 7 or 8. Right? 7, away, Z yellow screen. Z yellow screen. Or X red screen. Right? To kind of put things together, what we do, a common play we do out of this is 7 away, flash. Flash is for the running back. He's going to flash in front of the quarterback. Z yellow. Or X red. Either one. So what we get, we get a corner, we get a backer out here. We show natural. We show natural. We've been running natural that way all day. We've been running it. And then we are going to, the quarterback is going to not stick the ball out there. We don't do that on this. The quarterback is just going to kind of lean forward and dip down, and then screen with the screen. And keep in mind, any colored screen is fire from the line, because we're going to show run. So this is a good one. We've been running natural all day, and now we're going to swing it out here, get these backers flowing, and get it out here to these guys. Or even X red screen, 7-way flash X red, depending. Maybe they're a deep cover 3 team or something. We want to get this guy stepping back. So whatever. All right, let's look at the 2 passing combinations that we have off of the natural. Let's stay in 7 away, and let's go 7 away. Let's go natural pass. All right, so we got 7. away. Natural pass. What do we actually call it? 26 natural pass. Natural pass. I like to call this one like inside our own, their own 30. There's a good one to closer to the goal line, 35-yard line, 30, 25-yard line. We're going to show natural. This guy is then going to run an arrow. The varsity level, we have him punch this defensive end, but that doesn't really matter. And just get out there. The Y is going to run a corner. This guy's open a lot. This Z is going to what we call a dove. He's going to modify dig. He's going to get to 10 yards and then get across. And then this guy is going to attack the free safety. Just like that, this guy ends up blocking. So it ends up being a Liz pass protection. Liz tells the line they're all going to the left. And then the T is responsible for a guard gap. Out. And so that's natural pass. So you've been pounding the natural all day. This corner's starting to creep. He's starting to get a little antsy. This backer's starting to get a little antsy. This backer's starting to get a little antsy. And we can sneak this guy out, corner here. So that's natural pass. 7 away, 26 natural pass. You can do it out of 4. You can do it out of 4. Just tell your Z what he's doing. I usually do a Z3. 4 away, 26 natural pass, Z3. That's a nice little, that's tough to cover. This corner will have moved out. There'll be some form of free safety here. Just to maybe it works better on the spacing. The other one that comes from the natural is the waggle. So the waggle is your classic counter pass, your classic kind of bootleg, if you want to call it. So let's just say 7. 7 away, 7 away, 26 waggle left. And I think we've actually, we've eliminated the 26 part on the natural pass. 7 away, natural pass. I think we still call it 26 sometimes. But we call it 7 away, 26 waggle left. So 7 away. We're going to waggle, we're going to go show 26, and we're going to go, some of you saw me, I put a little action here. That means play action. We don't need to do that here, but we know. 26 waggle left. These backers are starting to creep up. These guys are all starting to creep. And then your classic counter look. Now for the F, I remind my F, waggle is weird for you. W and W, waggle is weird. He's coming this way to the arrow. This guy's going deep. Remember to tell this guy, don't outrun your quarterback. There's a lot of action back here. So take your time, she'll block a little bit or something, and then release. This guy's can do the same, and then he's got a 10-yard out. This guy's showing natural. This guy's dragging somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10 yards deep. And the quarterback is booting his butt out here. That's waggle. 7 away, 26 waggle left. 8 away, 25 waggle right. Okay? Guys, that's it. Between the running stuff, the naturals, the counters, the blasts, the sweeps, the color screens are very useful, especially I think at the YFL level, spreading out a defense. Everyone wants to load the box, but if you have a quarterback that's got the arm to get it out there and they start spreading out that defense, it's going to kill them. Hopefully I answered some questions, maybe even caused some more questions to come up. That's great. Let's talk. I'm always around. I love talking football. If you have any questions, you're stuck on something, I'll always be around at practice. Just holler. I'm happy to help. Yeah, good luck this season, guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch this thing.